Some tragedies don't begin with violence. They begin with a rumor, a whisper, a simple idea that spreads quietly until one night it turns deadly. That's exactly what happened to David Stringbean Akeman and his wife Estelle, a gentle couple whose lives ended not in fame, but in silence. Before the world knew him as Stringbean, he was simply David Akeman, born June 17, 1915, in the rugged hills of Jackson County, Kentucky. Life there was brutally simple. Families worked the land, each shared what little they had, and survived through grit and neighborly help. Money was scarce. If something broke, you fixed it. If you wanted music, you made it yourself. David's first banjo wasn't something you'd find in a music store. It was a homemade instrument built from a shoebox and wire. Later, when he finally got the chance, he traded 2 chickens for a real banjo. Think about that for a moment. In a world where most musicians chase fame, his first investment in music cost poultry. The Great Depression left a deep scar on him. He watched banks collapse and neighbors lose everything overnight. That kind of fear doesn't fade easily. Even after success arrived, he never fully trusted financial institutions again. But music slowly changed his life. Not just because he could play the banjo, but because he could make people laugh. Stringbean had a rare gift. Between songs, he told jokes, cracked stories, and entertained audiences with an awkward charm that felt completely genuine. Even his stage name was an accident. During an introduction, someone mistakenly called him Stringbean. The nickname stuck, and soon the skinny banjo player became a beloved figure in country music. His career grew through radio, live performances, and eventually the legendary Grand Ole Opry. On stage, he wore oversized shirts, floppy hats, and suspenders that made him look intentionally silly. But the act worked. Audiences adored him. Behind the curtain, however, his life remained simple. In 1945, he married Estelle Stanfill, a quiet woman who preferred privacy over attention. Instead of moving into luxury, they chose a modest log cabin in Ridgetop, Tennessee. They grew vegetables, raised chickens, and lived like ordinary people despite Stringbean's growing fame. Yet one habit never changed. His distrust of banks meant he kept cash hidden around the house, inside boots, walls, furniture, or even the chimney. Over time, rumors spread that the comedian banjo player kept large amounts of money at home. And rumors, as you know, travel fast. On November 10, 1973, after performing at the Grand Ole Opry, Stringbean and Estelle returned to their cabin late at night. What they didn't know was that 2 cousins, John and Marvin Brown, were already inside, waiting to rob them. The moment Stringbean stepped through the door, he was shot. Estelle tried to run for help, but she was chased down and killed near their car. Within minutes, a peaceful life built over decades was gone. The killers searched the cabin expecting a fortune. Instead, they found far less than the rumors promised. Eventually, police connected them to the crime after witnesses noticed their suspicious spending. Both men were convicted. John Brown received 198 years, while Marvin Brown later died in prison. Investigators later discovered nearly $20,000 hidden around the cabin. And in 1996, during renovations, another stash was found, but the money had rotted beyond use. It's a haunting detail. Cash hidden for safety, that ultimately meant nothing. Today, fans remember Stringbean not for the tragedy, but for the laughter he brought to country music stages. Yet his story leaves behind a quiet warning. Sometimes the smallest rumors can change lives forever.